So, hello, Mike.
Hey, Anna.
Hey, good to see you. So, today we're going to talk about the time we were working together and how the coaching program was for you and your takeaways and what your life and your relationships was before that and what has transformed for you. So we were together about 2 years ago. You did my 3-month one-on-one coaching program. So yeah, I'm really excited to dive into that and hear your story. And I think many people who are considering doing coaching with me will get a really good picture of, okay, what could it be like? What is possible for me when they see your transformation? And yeah, it was such a beautiful journey to work with you. It was just like for to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. I felt like it was such a beautiful flow, and yeah, you really dove into all the topics so deeply, and yeah, it was really rewarding for me as well to work with you. So super
Great.
happy to have you here. Do you
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, who are you?
yeah. Happy to be here and yeah, reflecting back. Yeah, I mean, I'm from the US. I grew up in New York. I lived in California, and through COVID, found myself in Europe and have been in Europe the last handful of years. I've had a fully remote job for 11 years, so I've been able to, yeah, experience, a lot of different things all around the world. And I would say, prior to working together, it had really come to the forefront of my mind that I was, 38 years old, turning 39, and wanted to, find a partner and be with somebody. And so, yeah, the calling and the longing to, yeah, to focus on this area of my life was really coming into view. So, yeah, just before working together, I'd come out of a breakup actually, and was a bit yeah, sort of confused as to what I was looking for. But again, I knew it was an area of my life I wanted to focus on. And I think like anything, you can go to the gym and you can work it on your own, or you can work out with a trainer. And this was a program that really held me accountable to meeting once a week and really opened my eyes and opened the aperture of my awareness to lots of different things that got me a lot more ready to find a partner. So that's just a little bit of background.
Oh,
One of
love
the
it.
main things I saw myself in was like this pattern, this 2-year cycle of being in a relationship and then not being in a relationship, and couldn't really put my finger on why that was, although I knew it had to do more with me than with the other person. And so that's kind of what drew me to Anna's, to your program, was wanting to, yeah, spend some time, dedicated effort, like working on myself. And of course, when we first talked, I was, a little bit skeptical, and even to rewind, I found you through someone else I had met, and I had followed your Instagram, and some of the posts were really kind of interesting to me, and wanting to be a better partner, wanting to be a better lover, and that sort of drew me to follow you a bit. And then when we talked about coaching, I was yeah, a little bit skeptical, but I was also impressed with the organization and the plan and our initial call. And then it really struck me in that moment that, hey, maybe if I focus on this, I can break this pattern that I've had for a long time.
Beautiful. So you came out of a breakup, you wanted to call in your partner, and this was also an area that you really wanted to focus on in your life. Yeah, so you were ready to prioritize that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And just, I had been, in therapy on or off at different times. And, therapy is good and it can be complementary, but, the coaching with you was just a really dedicated focus on, understanding myself through the lens of polarity, for example, understanding the divine masculine and divine feminine. And then all the work we did to manifest my dream partner, really put pen to paper and get focused on what are the negotiables, what are the non-negotiables, and then the embodiment exercises around what would it be like to meet that person and to actually call that person in, I think were all the things that helped raise my vibration to the point that I was actually able to call that person in. And so when that person came into my life, I really felt more ready than ever to, yeah, to give my love and to be vulnerable and to be open and to, be committed to being in a relationship that I wanted to make work.
Mm. Yeah, and I love to follow that. And I remember there was like a shift happening in you where you all of a sudden said, "Hey, Anna, now when I meet someone, like I know immediately it's a no. Like I'm not going to spend
Yeah.
my time on this person instead of like,
Mhm.
"Oh, maybe entertain this. So this sounds interesting over
Yeah.
here." But you got so clear and so tuned into what you actually, what you actually wanted and what you actually needed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a huge, huge
What was
part
it
for
that?
me. I just want to just to go on to that,
Yeah.
'cause it's a huge thing for me. I think different men and women are different in how they attract people and what type of partners come in. For me, I never had trouble, meeting people and having experiences or having the opportunity to date them. For me, it was always harder actually to say no and to rule them out for whatever reason. So for me, once it was getting really clear on the type of person I was looking for and the traits and the negotiables, non-negotiables, once that was clear in my mind, it just made me a lot easier for me to move through the world and meet people and rule them out more quickly. And so I found myself no longer, wasting time in relationships that weren't exactly what I was looking for. Right.
Yeah, and I think this is something many people can relate to, that the feeling of wasting time. We go on dates that are not in alignment and we feel a bit disappointed, or we're having some lover there, but it's actually not really what we want. So yeah, saving time and like optimizing your love life and your dating life. So super valuable when we can do that. Okay,
Yeah.
so what was it that changed, would you say, when during the time? I mean, you mentioned a little bit like having that clarity, being able to say no to women who were not that person that you were calling in, and also the embodiment practices and getting into the feeling of creating that reality. And was there anything else that it gave you, or that shifted for you?
Yeah. I mean, I'd say I really enjoyed the program that you had put together. And one of the things I also loved was having open space just to deal with things that were coming up. And so to have you as a coach, as I was navigating, different relationships and different situations, one of the things that I wanted to get better at was addressing tension as it came up. Right. And that was like a stated goal I came up with. And so through our time together, there was a lot of opportunity to just practice. And so doing the role playing that we did was really helpful in, gosh, I mean, even building my confidence. And I would say I'm a confident person, but the confidence to address these things in the moment, and all the different codes you gave me of how to talk to people. Hey, I'm noticing this, or hey, is it right that I might be feeling this? Is there something we need to talk about? Which maybe for some people is basic. And for me, as a very social person, it became easy to adopt these things. But that was certainly, a change that I experienced. Just my ability to address that tension in the room, which was, something important for me. And again, just with your roadmap and the plan that we had gone through of the exercises, now I still just really enjoy the masculine feminine polarity and understanding myself through that lens, and other people and interactions with people. And I think it helps explain a lot of things that may be confusing, right? So if you're a masculine man talking to a feminine woman, a lot of things about that interaction can be confusing without this polarity lens, right? So getting your guidance on that and understanding around that topic, and then actually going through different scenarios, was incredibly illuminating for me.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes, yes. Ah. And I think also, like you said, the roadmap, the structure, I think we also really clicked there. We connected because we are both kind of structured people, and we like order and plan. So yeah, this is also, everyone is different. Some coaches are more maybe like go with the flow, but I like to have a structure. And then of course, as you say on the calls, we bring up what is alive, of course. Even if there's a plan, there's a lot of space for what comes up. And I think I really enjoyed that with you, that we really worked on things that was happening in your life.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you were going to this tantra retreat, and it was all like the preparation, the practical, but also like the mental preparation for that. And yeah, it was so fun to really follow you on this. And it felt like you were also like you were really embracing all this. Like, yeah, you you went to the retreat, you
Yeah.
did a cold
Nights.
plunge, like you went all in. You were
Yeah.
really in a time of like transformation and try and like testing things and challenging yourself. So yeah, super
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I was definitely ready to just take that next step in my life. And I think there's a season for everything. And there's a time when people focus on their career, and there's a time when they focus on their physical health. And there's a time that yeah, they focus on their relationships with friends, and I think in the world right now, there's a lot of lack around time focused on intimacy and vulnerability and understanding yourself and really what you're wanting out of a relationship. So then you can, go pursue that. And that was a bit of my focus, self-discovery and intimacy was the focus. And of course, they're not mutually exclusive, right? But having someone to guide me and coach me through that learning was really great. Yeah, I remember texting you before the tantra retreat, what about this outfit, or what do I do here, or I'm going to my temple night, what should I wear? Right. So just having your support as I was on that journey was really helpful. And yeah, I
Yeah.
would say it didn't necessarily push me to go deeper, but helped me feel more confident in going to these events and going to these things, because I had, someone that I trusted that I could rely on to ask a question and get like a real answer.
Yeah, beautiful. Yes. Ah, okay. So, yeah, what, yeah, I think everyone is curious also, like you were working on calling in a partner and yeah, and then leveling up your dating, love life, getting more focused, optimizing your time. So what actually happened with that? We want to know.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it felt really incredible at the time when I met someone and went on a date and a second date and a third date. And I remember after the third date, I came home and I just flipped open my laptop and I had my negotiables and non-negotiables that we had talked about. And in my head, I was thinking, yeah, she has all of these. And sure enough, when I like double checked the list, I was like, yep, this is it. This is all of them. And I remember just texting you the next day or a couple of days later when I was like, "Hey, Anna, I think I found her, and I feel so ready and so alive." And yeah, it really felt, yeah, just incredible to, know what I was looking for and to have that, checklist, and then to meet someone who was amazing and beautiful, and then also checked all the boxes, literally. Um, was just like such a powerful experience, right? And yeah, here we are a year and a half later, and just 2 weeks ago we actually got engaged. And yeah, so really really exciting. And it's been great having you, as a support. We've, checked in with you as a couple, so you've gotten to meet her also, which has been amazing and wonderful. And look, relationships, take work, but certainly, working with you helped me level up the skills and my vocabulary and all the things that yeah, that are helpful once you're in that relationship too. So certainly a big part of it was manifesting this person, and then another part is actually being in it. And so yeah, it's been an amazing experience to have, focused on this topic in my life, and understanding what I wanted through that focus, and then actually calling that in, and then being able to celebrate that and take that to the next step.
Yeah, that's incredible. I remember when you sent me that text message, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like, found someone. And then when you got engaged, yeah, super amazing. And I've also met her, and she's amazing. So I'm very, very, very happy for you and very proud of you, because yeah, you dove right in and you want to improve yourself all the time, and it feels like you have this drive to explore consciousness and awareness in this human experience. And yeah, this is the kind of people I like to work with, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. That's true. And I would say to anybody who's like considering the investment of to do this or to not do this, and you know, um, you were the second person I worked with as a coach, and I've had now another coach. And I would say it's always a little scary to make that investment, right? It's always a leap of faith. You don't know exactly what the outcome will be. You don't know where the path will go. But it was, 1000% worth it. And I learned so much and have really become dedicated to having, some sort of support, whether it's a business and mindset coach or a personal trainer, because that's how you level up more quickly, right? You can read all the books you want, you can listen to the podcast, but when you have somebody who is holding you accountable, calling you out, answering your questions, and being there for you, when you look back after the 3 months or the 6 months and the time and money spent, you realize it's all been worth it. So yeah, in hindsight, I wouldn't hesitate, but I can certainly understand people that are, and would encourage anyone thinking about it just to take the leap of faith, go for it, right? You're going to learn something no matter what. And I think you're an amazing coach, and I learned so much from you. So I would imagine you're teaching a lot of people a lot of great things.
Thank you, Mike. That's so beautiful. And I think that's also so good for people listening to this. Yeah, it is a big investment, of course, to do coaching. But as you say, yeah, it is a different kind of, it sort of forces you or invites you to really take that full responsibility and like go all in, because you have someone who's invested in you fully, like your cheerleader, but also the person that can call you out on things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember when we first met, you had said, hey, we start our meetings on time, right? If you're not on time, you're late. And just to make a point that I then applied that practice to the rest of my life, right?
Wow.
And so now, like, it was from that early first session or whatever that session was, I've said, hey, I've really tried to apply this now, right? I'm no longer a late person, right? So for anyone who's thinking, hey, this is just intimacy or just relationships, right? I would say there's also, lessons that you take from this and will apply to, other areas of your life too.
Yeah.
Being on time is one of them. Now, I'm not perfect at it, but it's because of you always on my mind to be early. And so,
Oh yeah, I love
yeah,
that.
just a small example.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I'm not a late person, I'm a
Right.
person who's on time. Like that's like an identity shift.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
Anything else that comes up that you'd like to share, something about your takeaways or anything else that could be valuable to hear for people considering joining coaching program?
Yeah, I think we covered a lot. I would say with different coaches, I've had different experiences, but with Anna, with you, it's there wasn't any like preparation needed, right? I didn't need to get things organized or make specific, weeks or months, to be ready for this. It's just something that you can start now, right? So for anyone who's thinking about it or hesitating, not sure if the time is right or the finances are right or whatever it is, this is something that you can just jump into, right? Especially like the 3-month program I did. It's 3 months is not a long time in the scheme of things, and there's just so much value along the way and support, that it's worth just doing, right? If it's something that you're considering, it's probably worth just doing.
Beautiful. Yeah. Just jump right in. No
Yeah.
preparation yet. And I think this is also like sometimes you feel, I do it later, or I do it, after the summer, or after this, or after the house is renovated. But actually the trick is just to dive in, because it's never good timing. We don't have more time later. That's an illusion.
Right.
So,
Right. And you want to start, taking the things you learned and putting them in practice, so that the sooner you're, starting and putting the things into practice, the more return on that investment of time and money you're getting. So
yeah, definitely. And you have them for the rest of your life, the tools.
yeah, exactly.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, you're welcome. Have a great rest of your day.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
Bye.